Welcome to Straight Out of Savannah, Talking with Tammi, a podcast that showcases people you may not know who are choosing to use their gifts to inspire and move the planet.
Hello and welcome to Straight Outta Savannah, Talking with Tammi. I am so excited because my guest Shanikra Sims is here with me. She is an amazing high priestess, and now it's time for her to share about her. Take it away, Shanikra.
Yes, I am so happy to be on here with you. My name is Shanikra, the High Priestess Guide, and I'm a natural healer. I'm ordained by Spirit to be a High Priestess. I do spiritual teachings, spiritual guidance, and also I'm on YouTube, Shanikra, the High Priestess Guide channel, and I also have Spiritual Awakening, where I help you go through the process of getting to your spiritual awakening. I'm also on Instagram at Shanikra, the High Priestess Guide on Instagram. And then also I have some Facebook groups. I have Shanikra, the Spiritual Cleanse Acts, the High Priestess Guide. I have also Get Connected, the Spirit. And I also have Spiritual Healing Message, where we can you can get spiritual readings from me and a couple of other readers. Miss from her too, you can get on there as well. And I have a spiritual coach on that one as well. She's a spiritual coach, and we are going to be bringing people in and help get some healing going on for the people. But yes, I was born and raised in Far Rockaway, Queens, New York. And now I'm here in North Carolina. So far, I'm a grandmother, mother, and everything. So far, that's what I'm here. I'm a healer, spiritual teacher, guidance, everything like that.
That is super exciting. That is super exciting. All right, so now we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of it. So Shanikra, tell me about your journey. Tell me how you came to become a high priestess. Tell me just the steps in your journey, and not particularly, they don't have to be in any order, but just, how you came to know that this was where you were supposed to be.
Well, actually, I knew as a child that I was able to connect with spirits, and I knew I had, like, what you call the Joseph. I had dreams. Spirits will come to me in the dreams and communicate with me. So really young, I was very active. But then when I got a little older, I got kind of sidetracked off my gift, got into life stories, life things, but I still would practice it some, but not fully. I would kind of knew when I get the warning about something, they'd be like, what, how you know? Yeah, I'll get the warning about stuff, but I wasn't fully letting people know because of different religious purposes and stuff. So I kind of kept it in a little bit, but I knew that I could do it. And as I got older and really got rid of a lot of negativity, bad relationships, all that out of my life, it just, boom, opened up more spiritual awakening, boost. Like within these past couple of years, I never knew I would read the tarot and oracle. And the Spirit told me, had led me to this YouTube that was a tarot thing. And I'm like, I usually don't watch it. I usually don't. Started watching it. I hear Spirit say, you're going to get a deck. From there, it just, boom. All the stuff that I used to do that I knew I had it in me, it came out. They said, you a high priestess. And I said, what? I knew I was medium, but I didn't know I was a high priestess. I already knew I was a medium. I just didn't, I was like, people knew. And once I did that, it was just ongoing from there. The spirit leads me to my next point. I learned how to listen. That's what is the key. I learned how to listen. And once I listen, I've been led to the right path. Once I listen to spirit and say, yeah, this is what you're supposed to be doing. This, and you can't care about what anybody say. You got to listen to your spiritual team, because that is your path.
I am sorry. I had to write that one down.
Yeah.
Write that down, because I don't know if you realize, but when I do these interviews, I think it's so amazing. And one of the reasons I love them so much is that I learn from every single person that I talk to. I learn something. And I think it's great. And because I'm a lover of learning, it's just amazing that regardless of even how similar our experiences are, I still to learn from each and every person. So, I sit down and I write out nuggets too. I think that feels like I'm in a course, Yeah,
it's always good to do that,
Yes. So when you, all right. So what is the person that you typically work with? I mean, do you typically work with women, with men, with people?
Well, it can be anybody. The spirit, I can be out and about and would give people messages, because I can do messages, without the tarot and oracle. I'll be out there.
So you don't need no cards.
Yeah, you have a message for that person. Yeah, you have and I'll be like, do this make sense to you? Or I'll tell them and they be like, what? Yeah, there's been time I've been on the phone with people. Now I'm supposed to be making an appointment, but in the middle of making an appointment, here we go, spirit. You got to tell this person. I said, oh Lord, they don't know me. They don't know me. Spirit, they don't know me. I'm like, so I said, okay, let me tell. And when I tell them, they feel so much better, and it makes you feel better that you was able to assist somebody.
Yes.
So that's why it's like you got to listen to spirit. Yeah. And also, because I almost forgot, I'm also featured on another YouTube called Healing Waters, and I do pick-a cards there. I do, a lot of energies. Some people love that. They love to pick their own energy. So I do the pick-a cards on the Healing Waters channel. Okay. And that's like a healing channel as well. So yeah. And I'm working on 2 events that's coming up as well.
That is like so much fire.
Yeah.
So I want to get into this, because as I was listening to you, and this is how I do, I listen and I, hear and see what spirit wants me to ask you.
Yes.
Forth. That's why I love to have, intuitive people. That's usually my goal. And I try to get people that are intuitive so that we can have an intuitive conversation.
Yes.
Because I truly don't believe in those scripted ones. I like it to flow. So what I want to ask you is, what advice would you give to someone if they felt called to this path? How to trust spirit, how to know that, they are connecting. What advice would you give?
Well, usually I believe the first thing you would get is your gut feeling, letting you know that you need to do this journey and that you should embrace it. Embrace it, because when you embrace it, let me tell you, when you embrace your gift, you're going to find so much more about yourself that you didn't know before. Mm-hmm. And that's why I do promote people, listen to your inner voice, because that inner voice is telling you the right thing to do. It's telling you, hey, you have a bigger purpose than you know. And my advice is that listen, okay? That's my big keyword, listen. Because when you listen, you won't go wrong. You won't go wrong on that path, because don't let your let's say your ego get in the way. Listen, because I know that some people have different let's say views on spiritual stuff, but your spiritual path is who you are. That's who you are. So that's you embracing your higher self and who you are. And that's how you're going to become, let's say, powerful, courageous, someone who's going to be able to make things happen rather than before. Because it's like you got rebirthed. Let's say you get rebirthed. Once you accept, you get rebirthed.
Wow, that is powerful. It really is, because that brings up so many things. But what I want to ask you is, how did your spiritual transformation, let's call it, how did that differ from your religious background? How did you make that change?
Well, actually,
not even change, evolution,
right? Because I needed the background that I had, because I had the background of Islam, Christianity, and I also looked into the Jewish faith. I looked in all three because Spirit was leading me, and I always was listening to Spirit in those direction, because I was someone who was a prayerful person. I have been a minister, but Spirit said those are the things I needed to do so I can, let's say, connect to all people.
Yes. That was it.
Why I had that journey to connect. And I am able to connect with a lot of different people from different backgrounds.
Yes, that's powerful, because that gives you an understanding.
Yes.
Where all these people are coming from.
Exactly. Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's almost like I say that I work with women, but I work with anybody.
Yes.
But I mean, I target women to work with because I know women. And I'm not even particular about whether it's a woman of color. I don't care about that.
Right. That's true.
But yeah, I mean, of course I love working with my people and all that, but that's not a criteria for me. And the same thing, but like you said, once you have an understanding of all those different religions, then you know where people are, and what they're, a lot of times you can even see their questions. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You can see, you understand how their beliefs and stuff like that. That is awesome. That is so powerful. I'm loving this, because it's so much fire, and you dropped already so many nuggets, and we're not even done. I'm like, this girl right here, she is dropping the nuggets, because I have just written down, especially the listen part.
Oh, yes.
So what do you find when you do your work? Because you do sessions with people, right?
Well, yeah, I have done a few people. And then some I have done just on a live, just doing a few people on the live coming in, and I'll give them the advice. And the thing is, it don't matter what that message is, I'll relay it. Rather, it's something that they really need to look into, because Spirit is telling them that for a reason.
Yes.
It could be, I have, even before I full blown, when I was a minister, I even wrote and let this lady knew, and she left her situation, because I'm like, have a gift of speech. I could tell at first I wasn't like that when I was younger, but Spirit was like, you're going to be speaking to a lot of people. You're going to be talking to a lot of people. So it's like, give them what they're supposed to hear. Don't sugarcoat it. Give them what they're supposed to hear.
Yes, I completely agree. You and I are the same.
Yeah.
Tell them what they need to know. And even when I first started on this journey, I even was like, I would get the messages and stuff, or I would pull my card and I look at it and I'd be like, you want me to tell them that?
Right. Yes.
And because I'm not a sugarcoating type of person anyway, you can tell.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you just like it is. And as the older I've gotten, the more I temper stuff. But I used to be real raw when I was like in my 20s and 30s. But it's like now I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Let me think about this first, or think about how I say it. So because I never want to make people feel bad. I'm an empowerment
Yes.
reader. So I need you to feel like it's something you can do, even though it might be something crazy for you, but I need you to feel like, you can make this transition, you can make this change. It's not too difficult, because I don't know if you find this, but people a lot of times don't want to make the changes if they feel like it's hard.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't want to make them. They rather stay in the mud.
Yeah.
And it's
like you're saying, stuck energy.
Yes. And so that is one of the things, and I'm like, no. So for me, it's like, I'm gonna tell you, and now I'm at a place where I'm like, you know what? I don't care what it is. The spirit tells me to tell you. And now I'm at the place where I'm communicating with spirit and with my guides and saying, hey, I need this to be plain and clear for the people.
Yes.
This is my intention for, when I do this work. I need it to be plain and clear. Because, for me, I do a lot of things, email, and, I do a lot of email and messenger readings and stuff like that. So they need to understand, and I also think about, infusing the energy into that work. That's the place I'm getting to now. It's like, okay, because I realize, like the Bible says, I know all things, right?
Yes. Yes.
And I laugh because it's an embodiment that I, hope to bring to everybody, that that you really, you are God's.
Right.
And the thing, and it's not blasphemy to say that, because people tell you in a minute, religious people tell you in a minute, oh, no, you blaspheming God.
Mm-mm.
And it's not really right.
Yeah, our main divine Holy One made us gods and goddesses because we are made in the image. See, we got the Genesis, but some of it was cut out. Hey, we are gods and goddesses because we're made from the image. So if we made from the image, guess what? We can create just like, but we're not the divine source, but we're part of that divine source.
We're co-creators.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
It's almost like you got kids. Well, you didn't get them by yourself.
Right. I mean, that's true. Yes.
You had to have a co-creator.
Exactly.
But those kids can in turn still do the same thing that you do, or even greater.
Exactly.
Because Christ even said, greater things you'll do.
That's right.
So when we put it into that perspective and we consider it like that, it's like, wow, I never thought about that.
Yes.
Because we are destined and designed and supposed to do greater things.
Oh yes.
So anyway, but I'm super excited. This has been such an eye-opening discussion. That's what I'm going to call it. Like I said, you done dropped so many gems, girl. I wrote them down because I'm a writer.
Yeah.
So I wrote them down, and I'm like, dang, I gotta actually, feel this. All right. So one of the last questions I always try to ask every guest is, if somebody came to you and they were on their journey, what advice would you give them?
Well, if they were on their journey, I would say have a mentor during this time. Like me, I actually awaken people's spiritual gifts. That's one of my gifts. I awaken their spiritual gifts. So I would be like that mentor someone who's like me that has fully awakened, and they're able to pull you in. And sometimes some people need the baby food at a time, like feed as they go. Don't be too harsh, but let them come in as and they're going to come in and be confident. It's just building the confidence to come in. But yeah, I would say definitely get a mentor that's really going to help you awaken your spiritual gifts.
Girl, that's good. That's good advice.
Yeah.
I did not have one. To be honest with you, I
Yeah.
was looking for one, and I have them from afar.
Yeah. Me
I
neither.
once,
It was just boom, here you go. This is
yeah,
what you
exactly. I
yeah.
was like, boom,
Yeah.
like this what you gonna do,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I had them from afar, and I still have
Yeah.
them from afar. Just able to contact, be in contact with a few. I just watch them, listen to them, see what they say, and go
Yes.
share it and see where it goes from me or whatever. But yeah, I agree with that. I think that is amazing thing to do, and it's one of the things I feel like I'm called to do too. But it's like,
Yes.
I think spirit had to get me to a place where I could be patient with people, because that it was an issue for me,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and I realize now why, because of my human design,
Mm-hmm.
my energy centers and stuff, where they are and which ones are open and all that stuff. Because I actually did a session with a girl, and it was really good, and I learned a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and it really helped me to understand who I was,
Yeah.
because I was a little bit hard on myself, because I'm, a recovering perfectionist, as far as when I do work and stuff like that. And so I had to just get to a place where, I stepped into that divine masculine and really
Yes.
began to get in flow and stop fighting so many things. Because what I realized for me is I'm a fighter, just a natural fighter, and I'm a Scorpio too. So I don't
Oh,
play no
okay.
games.
Yes.
I don't take no shit.
Yes. 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 Water signs. Yeah. I get along with all water signs,
You
but
know?
yeah. Yeah. I'm an air.
Oh,
I'm air
okay.
sign.
So
Yes.
well, we need
Mhm.
air too,
Yeah. Hmm. Yes. I said sometimes the air, I said on fire signs, they fire, but sometimes the air might have to put you out. You know
Yes.
what I mean? We sometimes got to put you, blow it down, get you calmed down, because fire signs are something else. They are, woo.
I was
And
gonna
then
say
got
you gotta
the
be.
water that calms
I was gonna
everybody.
say you gotta be the perfect storm.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the earth, hey, they ground us. They
Yes.
put us, they get us grounded.
Yes. I agree with that. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
All right. All right. So anyway, I'm just so excited that we have had this amazing conversation. Shanikra and I have enjoyed this immensely. As Abraham Hicks would say, I have enjoyed this interaction immensely.
Yes. Yes. This is very
It's
good.
funny
Very good.
because everybody that I talk to all knows that phrase. And so I was like, I'm gonna put that in the podcast,
Yeah.
because everybody's like, yeah, Abraham Hicks. I'm like, yeah. And the funny story about that is my grandmother was a pastor, preacher, teacher, evangelist, prophetess type.
Okay.
And she actually got her own church because the church would not allow her to be a pastor. They said as high as she could go up as like a missionary mother or something like that.
Mm,
Was that for like the diocese or district or whatever. And
right.
so she felt that God was calling her to pastor. So
Yes.
she did. She started her own church, and we went to her church and stuff, but that was her thing. But she also was so far ahead of her time, people didn't even realize. I knew because I lived with her.
Hmm.
And I was her running buddy, I used to hang out with her, and she was the one that started recognizing gifts in me. I mean, they would have me laying hands on people at 3 years old.
Oh,
praying
wow.
for them to be healed, and they would be.
Ooh, yes.
And I shared with her that I used to see people, dead. And like, it was crazy. I
Mm-hmm.
would see them, like, say, like, if we were in your presence or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, because I was a little bit of thing, 3, 4,
Oh,
5 years old. So a lot of time I wouldn't know if they were sick or not or whatever, but then I would look at them and I would see them in the casket. And when we went to the funeral, they would have exactly the same thing that I saw them in the casket with.
oh, yes. Premonition.
So as a child, that scared the shit out of me.
Yes.
And I mean, who do you talk to about that, right?
Right. That's true. That is
So
true.
I talked to my grandmother, and she, and it was wild because, like I said, I told you she was a pastor, prophet, teacher, evangelist, all that stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
so, but she was so progressive, and she used to listen to Abraham Hicks. Right?
Mm.
I didn't realize that until later. I remember her listening to this lady, and she used to meditate. And I
Wow.
remember that too. And in them holiness churches,
Oh, yeah.
they
Yeah.
would preach the scripture about meditating on the word of God and stuff like that. But I don't think they really knew what that meant.
Right. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I did have that, and I'm thankful, and I know right now when I think about it, I said I know that she's like in my team of ancestors, just pulling for me and rooting for me, and giving me, even guidance from the transition place. And I'm super excited about that because I know a lot of people weren't able to have that, you know what I mean? And I did until she, well, actually not, I was going to say until she left, but no, she's still, with me and everything. But
Yes.
I said that to say that I was so thankful to be able to have that, because there are so many of us, like you said, you recognize that you have had those gifts from a child, but who the hell do you talk to if you don't have anybody that you can talk to about that stuff?
Right. Exactly.
Because people be looking at you like you crazy.
Yep. That's
You know what
true.
I mean?
Yes.
It's like, you did what? You talk to dead people.
Yeah, you couldn't really, no, that was something that people like, I don't know about that. They don't want to deal with that.
No, they don't. Because half the time they have had an experience similar to that as well.
Yes.
And they're like, no, I just felt like I was crazy and I didn't want to deal with that, and it's amazing when you talk to people and they start sharing that kind of stuff. And then they look at you and they expect, I guess they want to get a rise in or whatever. They expect a different type of reaction. But to me, I'd be like, I thought that was normal.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought that happened to everybody.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right. Well, anyway, I really appreciate this conversation. This was so much fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was Straight Outta Savannah, talking with Tammi, with my guest, Shanikra Sims, HighPriestess,
Yes.
teacher, spiritual guide, mentor extraordinaire. So let the people know. I know you told them a little bit in the beginning, but let the people know where they can connect with you if they are looking for an amazing mentor, spiritual guide, teacher, or reading, whatever it is that you are offering. Let them know how they can find you.
Okay. Well, you actually can email me, the highpriestessguide@gmail.com. And you can also follow me on Instagram, where you can message me as well if you need to get in touch with me. And that's at Shanikra the High Priestess Guide. And then also, I am on YouTube, which is Shanikra the High Priestess Guide. And also Spiritual Awakening. And that has my email on those channels as well. And you can also, if you need to comment in, let me know. If you need any spiritual guidance, teaching, readings, you can reach me, because that email, I always I'm right there with that email. So yeah, that's the best way to get me is through that email.
All right, that sounds good. And I'll definitely have her details in the description of this video. So that
Yeah.
way, they'll be there, as well as, what she does, what she has offerings for and stuff like that. This way you can connect with her, because she is such a beautiful spirit, and she is an air sign, she says.
Yes. Oh, and
So,
don't you know what else? I have spiritual bath products, the anointing products. So that's coming, I'm going to be putting that out there. So that's why on Instagram you'll see my products. I'll have that on there as well. So yeah, I'm someone about spiritual cleansing.
that's what's up. That is
Yeah.
what's up. So make sure that you guys hit her up. Make sure that you go check her out on all her social media. She has how many YouTube channels?
I have two
YouTube
and I
channels.
have one I'm featured on, Healing Waters.
Okay, so she's got
Yes.
two of her own, and then one she's featured on, Healing Waters, and I will actually put all those links in the description of the video. This way, you can contact her, because I know it's hard to, listen and write these things down and all that stuff.
Yes.
So I'll definitely have that for you. So again, Shanikra, thank you so much for joining me.
Yes.
We have had the most amazing conversation. Every
Yeah.
time I do this, it's like each conversation is even more amazing. So I absolutely love this space. So again, thank you for joining me, and we will get out of your hair right now.
Okay, thank you so much.
I was gonna say, make sure you comment, subscribe, share, and like this video. All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining me. Bye now.